This is not a me talk and give a lecture time, but I can lecture different things if I have to. This is conversation time. What do you guys have? I want to hear what your general questions are. I also want to hear what your guys' advice is. Don't make me be the only guy that talks.
Is that it?
And so this is about nutrition. Hey, there I am. This is your guys' chance to talk, ask questions, and whatever. So what I'm going to do is just make it open forum time. You guys get the opportunity to just sort of ask what you want, and we'll do what we got to do. If it's really quiet, this is going to be a short meeting. Really short. Because I meant to go dig my post holes and it started pouring on us. But it stopped raining. So I still got a couple hours of daylight and two boys that both have shovels. Yes.
I have a question.
What do you got?
What and when should I eat around workouts? Like before and after, what should we eat?
Yeah, so that's kind of a gigantic question. And first things first, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. And there are tons and tons and tons of opinions. So I might say something. You might go talk to someone else and they'll say, that guy's full of crap. Don't listen to him. Let's narrow things down to that's pretty broad. What should I eat before and after workouts? Are you only interested in training? Are you talking about just what do you eat right before, or 2 hours, or 4 hours, or 10 hours, or clarify your question a bit, Ken?
Like I've heard you should eat like protein after you work out, and I've seen people have like smoothies after practice. Is that like a good thing?
Well, who here does that?
I do.
You do, Lucius?
Yeah.
Chocolate milk.
I do. Yeah, it's just chocolate milk and a protein bar.
Chocolate milk is very bien.
Get a protein bar.
The protein bar. Balance bar.
Yeah, it's balanced.
the cookies and cream balance one.
Yeah, so post-workout stuff, there's a lot of different, not a lot of different, but there's a few different schools of thought on post-workout. The chocolate milk's been a real popular one for a long, long time. Chocolate milk almost immediately right after a workout's been one that people for a long, long time have talked about being one of the best things to do, because you get a little bit of fat, you get some sugar, and you get some protein, and it's in milk, which is easily digested. And so the general rule of thumb that I've kind of operated on for the last 20 years, and I'm sure scientists will disagree with me somewhere, is that if you eat right away, like if you can eat within the first 35, 45 minutes of a workout, that's when you're going to get a chance to recover the quickest. And if you can eat anything at all right away after you work out, your body can start that recovery process immediately. That's just a school of thought, but that's kind of one of the most mainstream schools of thought. So Ken, you're asking, what do you eat? Might be hold on a second. It might be, is that me that's getting all poppy? Is my noise and volume all screwed up?
Yes.
So it's my sound that's screwed up?
McKenna, why don't you mute yourself?
Me?
No, McKenna. Maybe. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, we'll see if it goes away. So anyways, if you're sitting there and you're eating right away, it might be me. Could be Sophia or Will. All right, so chocolate milk right after was great. The protein things are going to get different opinions on that, and I also would give different advice based off of ages. But I would do something immediately right away. So milkshakes are great. Getting yourself a good, you know, like a balanced bar type thing is great because it's going to have a bunch of stuff in it. You don't have to go out and buy special protein shakes and other things like that. Your body usually gets enough protein during the day that it can't even absorb all the protein some people pump into it. But you're also not trying to get massive. You're not trying to get jacked and big. Maybe you are. And if you are, swimming was the wrong sport. Okay. So post-practice, give me some other ideas, guys. What else do you guys think?
I was wondering, like, how close to your race it's okay to eat, like before it.
How close before? Well, let some other people talk about that. What do you guys got? You're going to have a lot of opinions on this one. Or there should be.
Me personally, I kind of snack throughout the day at meets, but I have like a quick bite to eat before. Like I feel like even like a couple bites of a bar, just like get that energy.
What you came up with?
I eat when I'm hungry.
Personally, the nerves usually get to me, so I like eating about an hour before my race.
Yeah, like I'll make sure I eat enough early in the morning and then just small snacks that are light and don't weigh me down.
Like the force would be just the mass times. I just won't eat. Like I'll just have a Gatorade.
That's not true, Sophia. That's not true.
Okay. That's what I did at WAGS. Any of these objects, we're saying that the force acting on them is that gravitational force, which is mass times the force field.
All right, who's got another show thing going
Put
on?
these next to each other, we end up with them canceling out. Nice. Okay.
Going with Alex.
What would be?
Yeah, I declare it to be Alex.
These objects?
So the question was kind of what do you eat right beforehand or how soon can you eat? And so far we've had a bunch of different thoughts come up on that. I don't eat anything. I get nervous. I don't feel good. I hit Gatorade. Then you got people saying, hey, that's bull. I've seen you eat more than Gatorade. And then we've got some people that eat straight up meals.
That's me.
That's you?
Yep. I eat hot dogs before races.
That's disgusting. You eat hot dogs before races?
Yeah.
I don't eat hot dogs, in survival mode. I could have Corona knocking down my door and they say, listen, Dave, you need to go eat a hot dog or else I'm not eating it. I think it's nasty.
I don't like hot dogs.
Corn dogs, though. I mean, it's kind of
I
a
love
hot
corn
dog
dogs.
with pancake batter around the end of it, but whatever. It's basically a hot dog. Had some really good Korean hot dogs, corn dogs.
I like corn dogs, not hot dogs.
So you like hot dogs?
No, I think they're terrible. But a corn dog technically is a corn dog, not a hot dog.
Well, it has a hot dog in it.
So there's a difference.
It's different. It's different. All right. So either way, I'm not eating corn dogs before my races either. So what else you guys got before races? Because it's completely on you, and it can even change by as you get older and the level of a meet. What I really recommend. Yeah, so we can get into that in a little bit too. Generally, if you're eating at a swim meet, there's a couple things that we're looking for. Give me a second. We're making sure that we so let's talk real quick in terms of eating beforehand. So first thing first, if you're at a competition, when you wake up in the morning, you want to drink a ton of water just right away. Okay, let me just give you a quick day-to-day, start to finish thing. Eat tons of water, drink tons of water right when you wake up, pound a nice 16 to 20 ounces of water, just get it in. At least 3 to 4 hours before your competition, you're looking You're looking like some fruits and some grainy type stuff. Um, pancakes are fine. Yogurt's good. Fruit's good. Cereal's good. Oatmeal's good. Bagels are good. Things you don't want to eat way before, 3, 4 hours before your race is, not too much on eggs, believe it or not. Sausage, bacon, cheese, steak, things like that. That's not good 3 to 4 hours before. That's not a good breakfast.
So
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
So mostly all of the breakfast food that doesn't have too much protein.
Yeah, the protein's not going to do a whole lot for you during racing. But we're also not trying to overcarb it. We're not trying to overload with, this whole concept of eating spaghetti and carb loading and things like that. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm just saying if you pound yourself with a bunch of protein during competition, it's really not doing anything other than digesting. You're not going to be doing you're going to have some protein in your meal anyway, but thing with sausages and bacons and things like that, it's just a lot of greasy fat that just sits around and doesn't really contribute much. So other things before racing, the thing is you want to make sure that you're drinking and sipping, every 15 minutes when you're at a competition. You want to make sure that you're eating snacks, but snacks when you're eating a competition need to be, more of whole foods, more things that can be whole food, things that were living at one point in time, plants. You want to avoid sugar, like processed sugars and crap like that when you're at competitions, pretty much in life. But you're not, when you're going to, if you're at a travel meet and you're going to be going to restaurants a whole bunch, getting the lemonade at the soda fountain instead of getting Sprite or Coke, getting lemonade, it's the same high fructose corn syrup. It's crap. You don't want it. Some people like to go to meets and just chow on gummy bears and Swedish fish. I love Swedish fish.
You're like my dad then.
What?
You're like my dad then.
Your dad's pretty awesome. Is there anyone here who does not like Swedish fish?
That doesn't like what? That doesn't like what?
Who said they hate them?
Who said they hate what?
Swedish fish. Was Evelyn said she hates them.
I don't like Swedish fish.
How dare she?
I agree.
No, it's Ken, and I don't like Swedish fish.
I don't like Swedish fish. They're too sweet.
I just don't like them.
You do not appreciate good candy.
It's too sweet.
It's delicious.
So much sugar.
It's delicious. It's a candy. It's supposed to be sweet.
Delicious. That's right. All right. So, anyways, when you're sitting there at the meets, your goal should be on performance, not on sugar. So, it's okay to have some sugar. I encourage you to actually have sugar and have things that make you smile when you're at competitions. Sometimes I've seen people get too stingy at competitions where they're scared to eat ice cream. They're scared to have something sweet because it's going to ruin their taper or whatever it is they're trying to do. And the reality is if you don't have some smiling going on and some fun, then maybe those gummy bears, they're okay. All right, guys. Probably not that hot dog we talked about, but the gummy bears are probably just fine in small amounts if they're making you smile, if they're keeping you loose, if they're keeping you relaxed in competition. But for the most part, those processed sugars like, drinking any sort of a soda pop or anything that comes from a fountain dispensary is not going to be good at any competitions. But, when in doubt, you go with water. Yeah. So again, this is a conversation. I'm just kind of rambling. I want you guys to keep throwing in your 2 cents and your thoughts. Because I've got a lot of stuff. It's just a matter of you guys driving the ship and telling me where you want to go with it. Now let's do. Yeah, what do we got? All right. Well, let me at least say this then. Let's say you're at a swim meet and you just got out of prelims. What I would say is, or you just finished a session. first things, if you know you're going to be at the pool for more than 3 or 4 hours, you probably want to bring a meal replacement with you. So if you know you're going to show up to prelims at 7 a.m. for warm-ups, and then the meet's going to start at 9, and you're not going to be racing, or you're going to race 3 or 4 times, 5 times, who knows? And then you're going to get out of there around. You're going to get out of there right around lunchtime. Then you want to bring food with you. You want to bring an entire meal replacement with you in that type of a setting. Does that make sense? Because even if you're getting out at lunch, you're thinking, "Oh man, the prelims ends at 11:30. I'm going to be able to peace out and go get some lunch." You've already been there maybe for 5 hours, and by the time you actually sit down and eat, it may be 1 o'clock. Even if you get out of there at 11:30, 12, now you've got 6 hours in between your eating. How long it's going to take for you to actually start processing some of that. And then maybe you got to be back in the pool 4 hours later or 3 hours later for warm-ups at 4. So anytime you're going to be at a meet more than 3 hours or so, just bring a meal replacement. And that should be, maybe 60% carbs with some protein. And you want to be eating healthy. Turkey sandwich, something like a Boost bar, peanut butter sandwich, unless you got a peanut allergy. Be careful. Cliff bars, yogurts, things you don't want to eat at swim meets. All right, big protein bars. Getting some big, muscle milk bar, badger milk bar. That's not going to help your glycogen stores by pounding yourself with protein. So keep the protein at a competition. Just a regular sandwich. So you're sitting there, you're at dinner at a swim meet, you're eating a small amount of protein. Again, you're not eating giant, juicy, delicious steaks all the time. You're getting some carbs in there, pretty much the same thing as lunch. Now, if you're Michael Andrews and you're doing, complete keto and things like that, you're on a different meal plan and you're not really listening in this talk. But there are people that don't eat carbs at all and only eat proteins. So I'm talking about just the average Joe American. If you've got your own completely separate, if you're a vegetarian, you're going to have a different meal plan potentially than everyone else. I'm going just based off of, not that exciting of a meal plan. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So,
well, I know that there has been a few studies and trying different things with actual diets, and one of them has been going vegetarian for the point of training. And I think there was a movie called Game Changers about it. Do you think that would actually be beneficial, being vegetarian over just a normal diet?
I can tell you with an absolute certainty that the answer is yes. But I'm going to say it. I'm going to give you a disclaimer on this, okay? I'm going to tell you that being a vegetarian is absolutely going to be better for you health-wise than an American diet, okay? And I'm clarifying that with the term American diet because Americans eat like absolute crap, right? Chick-fil-A is not healthy. It is delicious, okay? Chick-fil-A is wonderful. I don't know what they bred that stuff with. It's like they've somehow skinned unicorns and they've used that as the layer and they deep fried it. And it's just wonderful. But Chick-fil-A, nothing they serve at Chick-fil-A, even on their healthy menu, is what I consider healthy. Okay. So the fries are delicious. Not good for you. The shakes they have, I don't even think the shakes are very good. Their wraps, way too carby, way too much processed flour. So anything fast food is no good. So Maya, you're asking about going vegetarian or trying out maybe one of those forks over knives type things, or you can get different performance vegetarian menus or meal plans. And the thing is if you're following a meal plan, and this is kind of what I wanted to get to. So you're following any meal plan that is, whether it be a keto plan, whether it be, which is going to be mostly dead animals, or if you went vegetarian plan, which is going to be pretty much no dead animals, but I guess besides baby chickens, and then fish, delish, and some cheese, which is just milk. But you can get absolutely everything you need, and you're going to be healthy, and your body's probably going to recover way better than someone who's saying, well, I'm eating plenty of protein, but they're eating it from Chick-fil-A, they're eating it from McDonald's or any fast food chain. You are going to see a significant improvement in performance, not just because it's better for you, but because the plans, and if you're following a plan, you're going to be having structure. You're going to have someone else that's kind of told you what to do. You're going to be conscious. You're going to be thinking about what you're doing and why you're doing it. And so you're engaged in it, not just reacting to it. You're not just saying, me hungry, me go to cupboard and get food. You know, if you're following a vegetarian meal plan, you're probably not going to be eating a bag of Doritos and you're going, well, they're vegetables, sort of, they're potatoes. You're probably following some sort of thing where it's going to be, maybe you do have some chips, but you're dipping them in hummus as opposed to dipping them in, caramel, which I know people do with apples. Also Nutella. There's nothing healthy about Nutella. Don't let anyone tell you that that's a peanut butter substitute. All right. It is not. It's straight up sugar. So that's my answer to that.
Do you know if any of the pros are currently on any kind of diets?
You mean like a specific type of diet?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, is Kristen still in here? I think Kristen is here.
I can help with that. I know Marius, Dylan, and Jacob Hateman. The three of them eat pretty close to be vegetarian. That's number one. And then number two, most of them eat as less processed food as possible. So the less packaged you have to open to eat your food, the better.
Okay.
Hey,
I'll tell you what.
Let me add one too. So I think the other thing, these guys watched, what was the name of the movie? And I'm not suggesting you guys don't eat meat or something, but because that's kind of what this movie promoted, but it does make you think about what you eat. And what was the name of that, Javier?
That was Game Changers. That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one that Maya mentioned, Game Changers.
Yeah, and again, I think I'd take that as, in proper context. But again, if there's a window of time where you have time to do a little bit of research and find what works for you. I know for me, when I learned about this thing called intermittent fasting, that means what you do is you work on your you go a certain number of hours without eating, and when you get old like me, having not eating for a certain amount of time is supposed to be good for your system. So there's things I'm doing I don't want to do. I'd rather get up and have a big old bowl of cereal in the morning and get going. But if it's more healthy for me, and it's better ultimately, then I'm willing to try it and choose it, and I could still have my coffee, so I do make it. But yeah, I think everybody, not just you young guys and the Team Elite guys, every area can make a difference. But it's like Dave said about the gummy bears. It's like there's no extreme though. It's like it's all within a moderation. Swedish fish, excuse me. All within some level of moderation that makes a difference. But I think doing something's better than not doing something, and choosing to have better nutrition is a good thing. And if you come out of this window of time while you're not training and you have better nutritional habits at the end of this, let's say eating slower, taking your time to eat to where you don't fire through your food. A lot of times swimmers, we're just trying to get calories and we're starving, and after practice you get in the habit of just firing down the food. Over in Europe, when I go over there, people eat for 2 or 3 hours very slowly, the same thing we eat in 20 minutes. And so these are things that you can kind of take to practice and even have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Good. Thank you for asking.
Hey, Kristen.
Hi.
So, hey, so what else you guys got on that? Did any of you guys get to go grocery shopping when your parents go grocery shopping?
I do.
I would encourage you guys to go, and if you need to go gloves and masks and do the whole thing, you can do that. And if they'll let you go along. But I would encourage you to go, but not just to go. I would encourage you to do it and do this challenge. The challenge is this: is you go to a grocery store and you get your meals and you get everything taken care of, but you don't go down a single aisle. Okay, and this is one of the quickest. Hey, Brewster, this is one of the quickest and easiest ways for you to figure out sort of healthy eating. When Coach March mentioned no process or reduced processed foods, is if you walk into the grocery store and you hang either a right or a left, and you only walk around the perimeter of the grocery store, you'll get all your fresh foods on the outside aisles where they don't have a lot of preservatives, because everything's got to be refrigerated or kept moist. So if you kind of walk in, it depends on the shop, but you maybe go in, you got vegetables here, then you got some breads here, then you got some meats, then you got your seafood in the back, then you got your dairy over here. Then all these aisles in the middle, that's where all the crap is. Okay. If you have to go down the aisles to get that special fix of Pringles, sour cream and onion, because they're so good, that you shouldn't go down that aisle. Try going to the grocery store and only hanging on the outside edge of the grocery store. And that's a real quick hack if you're trying to figure out how to cut processed foods out of your diet. Make sense? Give it a shot. All right, so guys, give me some more stuff, because again, I want this to be about you guys instead of me just looking at different PDFs and notes I've taken from the past. Give me some more you want to hear, or say, give me more of this. I want to hear more of that.
So this is kind of like building off of what we were just talking about, but for me personally, I don't know, like maybe if it's like just for like my event specifically, like longer mid distance, or like if I'm swimming multiple events in like a final session, I usually like to like eat a pretty good amount, but I like to give myself like 3 or 4 hours to digest. So I guess my question would be, like, how much should I eat with that much time to digest my food? And like, I don't know, what do you think about like the, I don't know, just like, I guess I remember Mariusz, he gave like a talk before sectionals, and I asked him about what we should eat, and he told me to kind of go pretty light. But for me, I like to eat a lot. So is that good, or do you think I should dial it back?
So it's not, you definitely want to dial it back if you're tapering and resting. If you're doing a lot of racing during one day, you need to make sure that you're fueling yourself. Now, real quick, I want to remind, before I dive into something else here, I'm just going to pull something. I'm not going to pull it up. The number one way to start getting your energy reserves to reset. All right. So your body's got your glycogen stores. Do you guys remember the way that you actually get your body to start refueling itself?
Warm down.
Okay. So using that warm down pool is what tells your body to start kicking in and refueling itself. Okay. So that's so don't skip that warm down pool when we're talking about competitions. And we're talking about keeping that warm down pool going for about 8 to 10 minutes with your heart rate up. Because when your heart rate's up, and I know this is a different topic, but I'm still going to do it anyway because we're all here and I can do it. So, if I'm sitting here in a swim meet and, here's my fuel tank of energy, If I race, I just emptied out this much of my fuel. Okay. I race again without warming down. I use this much of, I empty out this much of my fuel. Your body's got about 3 great races of fuel in it. All right. If I don't warm down, I'm empty for the day. All right. My tank is now basically empty. When I wake up the next morning, my body's kind of refueled itself about one of those stores of fuel. Okay. Now, if I got that same races, I've got those same 3 tanks of fuel. All right. And this is my glycogen stores. This is where my energy actually is in my system. Like my body can race at a high performance. I've got about 3. 3 is just a generic average, but it's close enough that you just got to trust it's probably close for you too. If I race that first race, all right, and that's empty, but then I go spend 8 to 10 minutes with my heart rate up around 140. All right. I keep my heart rate up around 140. That's not a 0. I do that for about 8 to 10 minutes straight. That's why we do some of our breath control work. This starts to it tells the body, hey, buddy, you got to start refilling that tank up, and your body will refill that up. Okay. So that is number 1. That is your most important part of competition food and nutrition. That makes sense. That's your most important piece. Now,
Yeah.
you were asking about how much you're eating too much or you like to eat a lot. As long as you have a plan in place, if you're eating about sort of you want to cut your carbs down so you don't get fat. All right. And by fat, I don't mean that in some sort of an insult way of, body image type stuff. I'm talking about racing weight, high performance. I'm a swimmer. I'm used to eating 4,000, 5,000 calories a day. And then all of a sudden I'm a lean 160 pounds. All right. And then I start tapering and I keep eating my 4,000 calories, but I'm not burning them anymore. And by the time I get to race day, I weigh 165, 170 pounds. And I'm not shaped the way the water needs to go around me anymore. I'm not, I'm dragging an extra 10 pounds of weight through the water. So you want to be in a really athletic, healthy weight. But if you're stuffing yourself because you're used to eating so much and you're eating a lot of carbs, you're going to end up hurting your performance because you're past your fighting weight. So, there's no perfect swimmer body. There's no perfect shape, but when you're healthy, when you're feeling full of energy, and when you're tapering and you're dropping your activity level and your calorie burning, then you need to cut out some of the carbs. All right. So cut out some of your grains and replace that with some more fruits and veggies. All right. You're still going to be getting carbs in those fruits and veggies, but you're not looking for simple carbs. You're not looking at your breads, your pastas, any of those things. You're cutting those down and you're increasing. So you're going to snack on something you're going to snack on. I like to eat a lot beforehand or during the days or leading up to my events. You can have, as you get closer and closer to the race, you can keep eating just as much, but now it becomes a little bit more carrots and hummus, a little less bagel with cream cheese. Okay. You'll also probably increase just a little bit some of your proteins leading up to race day, but not on race day. If you want to eat a lot during race day, and because you're bored, all right, you're sitting around for a couple hours, you're not sure what to do, so it's just maybe a nervous habit. You're doing more of your Gatorade sipping, all right? You're sipping on warm tea. You get some warm liquid in your stomach. You're not going to feel as hungry. You keep that going, but don't stuff yourself full of carbs right before your race, or proteins. Definitely not a lot of proteins before your race, and even not a lot of vegetables right before racing. You're just, whatever you're comfortable with, you're getting some of that, and you're keeping it. You have a bag of pretzels, and then you sort of snack on pretzels. Just a small bag, not a big bag. But that's me going on for like 5 straight minutes of who knows what. Most important piece of that whole thing, have a plan Be prepared, be ready for warm down, because that's going to actually fuel you for your next race more than the pretzels will. How did I not answer that? Or tell me what we need to go on to.
Just like a follow-up question to that. So like if I'm dialing back my calories, like compared to what I normally eat, like would I feel like hungry at a swim meet? And like if I did, would that be okay?
I don't think you'd be hungry at the swim meet, but other people, I mean, some other people besides me talk. I mean, what do you guys think? McKenna nods her head.
Well, I'm not sure about others, but typically at meets, I like being a little bit hungry. It just feels like what works for me. Like, I feel like if I eat at a meet, like, excessively, I feel bloated and heavy for a race. So I usually like eating, like, almost very minimal, like, quantities of food.
Like, I feel like it depends on how hungry you are. Like, if it's bothering you, definitely have a snack. But, like, if it's a little hungry, then I'm usually fine. Because I'd rather feel, like, be a little hungry than feel heavy.
Also, you're going to feel more hungry if you're eating a lot of simple carbs. If you're eating a lot of bread, if you're eating, if you wake up and then you have orange juice and then you have cereal, and then you have a piece of toast and you have a bagel, you just had nothing but carbs, carbs, carbs. That's going to spike your insulin levels up. And then those insulin levels are going to come right back down again. And they're going to dip even lower, and you're going to feel super hungry. So having some healthy fats, different, like I like coconut oil. You're not going to feel as hungry as you think if you're eating, well balanced, you're keeping the liquids in, and you've got some good healthy fats in there, such as, like the olive oils, the coconut oils, not bacon grease, things like that. McKenna, do you have a question?
Yes.
Go,
Is there
McKenna.
like a specific way I should eat for like my age and stuff?
Well, see, now McKenna's younger than everyone else. Well, not everyone else, but McKenna's one of the younger ones here. And McKenna, you don't have a whole lot of different issues for your age than some of the ones that are older. What I recommend is no processed foods. I don't recommend restaurant foods. I recommend for someone your age just staying well balanced. But really your thing is you're going to be subject to eat what your parents get you.
Mm-hmm.
So if your parents put a plate of food in front of you, it's going to be a little tough for you to just look at them and go, no, I don't think so. I'm not having that. Now, you might do that at your house. You better not. But the pretty much everyone here, I'm guessing, doesn't prepare much of their food, and they're subject to whatever mom and dad bring home. And you can drive that ship. But the reality is if you're eating mostly fruits and veggies with some, grainy type stuff and some protein, or however that's going to come, whether it be some sort of a vegetarian way or even, through, steaks and chickens and whatnot. If you're eating well balanced, you're going to be, they're going to be better off. All right. Stay away from things that come in bags. Stay away from things that come in boxes. Also, forget it. Don't worry about the next piece. What else you guys got? Keep going. I've got tons and tons of stuff. Just got to get me on a tangent.
So, I'm wondering what your opinion is on caffeine, like before races.
On what?
On caffeine before races.
So caffeine. He's asking about caffeine. I've got mixed opinions on caffeine. Okay. Caffeine in a microdose, and by microdose, I mean like a cup of tea style of caffeine, can actually be a good performance enhancer in some capacity. Oh, is that cheese? Yes. My son just brought me some cheese. My daughter's behind me. She's telling me to have you guys drink Jocko white tea, but that just helps you with deadlifting. So the thing about caffeine is caffeine will artificially raise your heart rate. Okay, it's cheese, cheddar cheese, guys. It's delish. Caffeine will raise your heart rate and
Cheddar
get you
cheese.
what? Someone said cheddar cheese.
I like cheddar cheese.
I do too, but I'm not going to eat while I'm talking because that would be rude. You guys know I would not do that. So caffeine will get you kind of hyped up and sometimes feeling alert. Okay, caffeine can make you feel alert, but the thing is it raises your heart rate up artificially. It chemically, and especially some of the drinks that you can get, different sports drinks, energy drinks. Guys, don't ever drink those monster drinks or 4-hour energies or any of those things that come in either little can or can with lots of painted colors on it that make it look really cool and exciting. Don't drink that stuff. It's just no good. If you think that's going to get you to the finish line faster, no, it's not going to get you there. What you do Monday through Saturday is going to get you there, not something from a can. But so caffeine, small doses, all right? So again, just a cup of tea, that might help you out a little bit just to be alert. But caffeine will raise your heart rate artificially. Too much caffeine is going to get your heart rate up, and it's actually going to wear you out and start making you tired and jittery, and it's going to inhibit your performance when you start getting too much. Okay, so people like to do, I drink C4, okay? I do this before a race. I've known people that have had cups of coffee an hour and a half or 40 minutes or 30 minutes beforehand. And these are people that have, they do it once a day, and it's part of their race strategy is that they know, I know an hour before my event, I like to have a cup of coffee, and it helps me get ready for warm up and get me alert. That's fine. That's great. Most caffeine and most caffeines and products that people are looking to do in athletics are because they feel all wound up. But the problem is they're wound up. They're tense. Their heart's beating too fast. It's artificial. It's not coming naturally from your own adrenaline and excitement. It's coming from a chemical process, and so it can be a down. So it's a mixed bag on caffeine. Caffeine can be very good in small doses and not dependent on. It can be very bad for performance, especially if you've got anxiety issues. If you're the kind of person that gets really flustered and nervous, and that's kind of you sometimes, and you're always worried about little things here and there. Caffeine's just going to amplify that. You might need something to relax you, not something to get you hyped up. Okay, because the way your brain and your body's chemistry is working is more important than feeling jittery. Make sense? Did that answer your caffeine question?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. What else you guys got? Keep going.
So in regards to like eating the night before, I've always heard about like loading up on carbs, but like what would be the ideal meal? Like what should your balance be the night before?
So the carb thing, be careful on the carb thing. The carb thing is something that got super popular. I don't know how long back, 70s, maybe 60s even. I know in the 80s it was carb loading. Everyone had their spaghetti parties. And there's a couple things with this. What I was talking to you guys before about the warm down and how that refills your glycogen stores, that's more important than those carb loadings. If I'm looking for a race day or day before meal, it's probably, it's probably something like 40-30-30 diet, where it's going to be 40%, maybe 40% carb type stuff. But it's going to be about 30% of proteins and fats, and then probably 30 to 40% of veggies also. All right. It's not going to be a restaurant. And if it's a restaurant, it's definitely nothing fried. Fried is bad. Okay. Fried is delicious sometimes, but anything fried, if you get something deep fried, it's going to cause inflammation in your system, and your body's going to start not liking it. Even though it may like the taste of it, anything fried just causes inflammation. So, the night before, it's going to look like, some grilled chicken with maybe like a fettuccine and pasta. No, not race day. I'm not eating a cream sauce, but we're talking night before. Nothing too acidic. Green beans are fine as long as they don't make you gassy. All right. If you're the big thing here, let me say
Isn't
this
that
for
just
sure.
regular beans?
No, it's all beans. It's all beans. Beans, magical fruit. Come on.
Dave,
Yeah.
just for everyone's information, at Chick-fil-A, you can actually get grilled nuggets, which are like pure protein, and they're really good, and they don't have like the breading on them.
But the breading's the best part.
No, but they're still really good.
But the breading's the best.
But they're still good.
So good. I mean, it might be good, but it's still the best.
Well, at least they're healthy.
Sophia, you're the healthiest person I know.
Wow, I feel special.
All right, but if you went to Chick-fil-A and you got those grilled nuggets, thing is you got to also have the self-control to say to them, by the way, I don't want fries, and I'm not getting a fountain drink. Give me the carton of milk.
No, you can actually get a light lemonade.
Yeah, it's still that processed sugar. It's not real lemon.
Oh.
It's high fructose corn syrup.
Oh.
Your body doesn't even know how to use that stuff. But I mean, it said light on it.
I made lemonade.
Recently?
Wait, yes.
Did you use lemons from your own lemon tree?
Yes.
Excellent. Did you add sugar or no sugar?
Yes, we added sugar.
Excellent. Kristen, are you going to jump in and say something? Nope. She's out.
Coach Kristen, I'm happy to hear you.
She tried. She probably pushed a button and now she's like, I can't get it back. We should time her.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not taking a million Zoom classes for school, so sorry. No, I was saying, I think Sophia was talking about like the diet lemonade that has like fake sugar. So maybe you could talk about fake sweeteners.
What do you guys think about fake sweeteners?
I've never heard of
I
fake.
mean, you shouldn't have them.
Probably not good for you.
Like, of course they're not good for you, but like you could have them once in a while.
So I think it depends. When it comes to competitions, this is what I was going to jump into, was you don't want to change your dietary habits going into competitions very much. All right. If you're not used to eating something, like if you tend to live on a Mexican food diet because you love fish tacos and burritos and quesadillas, and then it's coming close to race day and you're like, you know what, I'm switching to an all vegan diet because, it's healthy and I need to go fast. You don't want to make any drastic changes at all in your diet. So when it comes to like a lower sweetener type thing, I try to use something called monk fruit. Do you guys know what monk fruit is?
No.
Monk fruit is what? All right.
I don't know what that is.
All right. So anyways, monk fruit is exactly like sugar. And it comes in, it looks like sugar, it tastes like sugar, but it has 0 calories, 0 carbs. It doesn't spike your insulin levels. So Coach Marsh was talking about the intermittent fasting. You can have monk fruit, sugar type stuff while you're fasting, and it doesn't affect your body whatsoever. You've got other things. There's a stevia. Some people do. That's a natural plant, and some people respond well to it, and some people don't like it. Things like man-made artificial sweeteners, I just avoid those in life. Like anything that's a diet drink in general has got some sort of man-made sweetener to try to make you still enjoy it, and those tend to be just no good for your body. So just avoid them, if at all possible. I did a taste test once for diet cream soda.
Ew.
I was yeah, I was on a panel, and they're like, "Hey," and they kept bringing out these different types. Like, what do you think of this one? And the answer on all of them was like, "This is awful. This is terrible. This is terrible." And I didn't get invited back, and I think it's because I said everything was awful. Oh my gosh, just give me regular cream soda. So yeah, if you're putting something in your body, just make sure that it, especially you know how your body reacts to it. I always recommend natural over unnatural and processed, but you should not be changing anything going into race week, even in your diet. So if you've been drinking, light lemonade from Chick-fil-A, you don't need to change that, just because you're at the meet. If you've been drinking nothing but Dr. Pepper, then you should have stopped that months ago. All right, like that, you shouldn't be doing that. Stop it. I don't know. I'm rambling now. What else you guys got?
What do you think of protein or like recovery right after a race at meets? Should it be the same as after practice or a little less?
Listen, I'm not a, I haven't done studies and studies on this. I just wouldn't overdo the protein at swim meets. The protein, stick with your normal diet as much as possible, even at competition. We're still looking at that about that 40, 30, 30. You're looking to have some protein at meets, but if you have too much protein, it can mess up your body's glycogen system a little bit, and it can jack up your next coming races. So just stick with a normal, comfortable diet, probably more carbs than protein during competition. Protein shake, not necessary. Just keep it, healthiness. Listen, your body can only absorb about a chicken breast worth of protein, actually absorb during the day. So if you're trying to cram that stuff in, you're really just peeing most of it right back out. What else, you guys? Come on. Somebody say something.
I actually
I'm Snickers today.
Well, that means, listen, Snickers, they really satisfy.
Stickers.
Did you say Snickers?
I said stickers that you stick on the paper.
No, don't eat those. They're covered in glue.
I didn't try to eat them.
Well, you know what? A lot of people eat glue at your age, and some people still eat glue at my age. All right, someone else is back there. What do you guys got?
Bree,
so like what drinks would you like recommend?
Hi, Clara.
So, Clara, you're asking about drinks?
Yeah, like what types of drinks do you recommend?
So, drinks that I recommend. The primary drink that I recommend is called water. Okay, that's number one. It's the first thing you should listen. I recommend you guys have a cup of water next to your bed. And I'm not making a joke on this. I'd have a cup of water next to your bed. When you wake up in the morning, I would down that thing immediately. Think about it. Your body, if you go to sleep at 10 o'clock and then you wake up at 6 in the morning, you just got 8 hours where your body didn't do anything but sweat in your bed and go on its own little hunger strike and burn stuff up in the background while you're sleeping for 8 straight hours. When you wake up, you are dehydrated, whether you think so or not. Even if the first thing you do is run to the bathroom, you're like, oh, I got to the bathroom. I'm definitely not dehydrated. No, you're dehydrated in the morning. So drink water, drink lots of water. If you can have some sort of electrolytes in it, that's always good because it makes your body actually have to absorb it. If you just chug straight water constantly, you're just going to just pee it right out. And you can overload your kidneys. But, I push water. Okay. I also enjoy personally milk, chocolate milk, stuff like that. I haven't had chocolate milk in a while. Things like Gatorades, things such like that. I don't endorse them. I'm not a huge fan. If I'm at swim practice, I've definitely got water. If it's a long practice, I've got a drink that's got some sort of carbohydrate fuel source in it. So like a Gatorade. Check the ingredient label on the back, though. If you're drinking Powerade is made by Coca-Cola. The stuff they put in Powerade is the exact same stuff that they put in Mountain Dew. Okay? It's just not fizzy, but it's the same stuff. So check the ingredients on it. Don't put something into your body. But if it's crap, Gatorade uses, I think, just straight up sucrose and fructose, as opposed to high fructose corn syrup. So just read those ingredients. If it says high fructose corn syrup on it, just don't put it in your body. But water's number one. If you're doing long training sessions, over an hour and a half, then you need to have some carbs in there. Or you could just keep drinking water and have a little snack. You could have some pretzels by the end of the pool or lane or in the gym if you're working out. You could have a little snack bar, some Fig Newtons or Delish. You could have those types of things. And then just drink the water so you're getting your carbs and your liquids. But I just can't knock the water. It's kind of a big deal. What were you thinking, Clara?
I was kind of thinking like smoothies in a way, or those tablets. I think they're called like Noon or something.
What is that? What someone explain to me what that is. I know what a smoothie is. I know what a smoothie is.
The Noon tablets, they're little effervescent tablets that you put in water, and they're flavored and dissolved and have electrolytes in them.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be kind of something that puts electrolytes in your drink. I've had mixed feelings. Yeah. I've used those before, and so I think it depends what they add in there, but some of them are fine with me, some of them mess with my throat, and it's just what works for you, I guess, kind of.
So did anyone else experience that being kind of funky on the sound, or was that just me?
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, now I understood.
Yeah, it was really funky for mine. She was like,
yeah, it was kind of like listening to like a funky 1980s robot.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I understood exactly what you were saying. So it's those little tablets that'll dissolve into the water.
Yeah.
That's really just putting the electrolytes and other things back in. So electrolytes and some vitamins, those, if you like those are great. Something like that. If you need to put some sort of a flavoring in your water for it to taste better, that's fine. Adding the electrolytes in, like those Noon tablets or some other things that are similar, that's going to be good. It's going to help the water and the liquid actually absorb into your system, as opposed to just flushing right through your system and then flushing right out the bathroom. So those can be great if you like those. I definitely don't discourage those at all. Now, when it comes to smoothies and things like that, Clara, so a smoothie is going to be a little different than like those Noon tablets. A Noon tablet's going to be those, it's going to be putting your salts and your potassiums and some of those things back. Your smoothies, listen, if you like smoothies, you should be expecting smoothies after practice, and the smoothie should be whatever you like in a smoothie. If you can get things like yogurt, get a little yogurt in there, maybe some kefir, things like that. Get those things in your smoothie. But if you need
What's your favorite smoothie?
Chocolate.
It just depends on the day. Who said chocolate? Is that McKenna?
Yes.
I like coconut. As long as there's some coconut in my smoothie, I'm a happy guy. So.
I think coconut's good.
But if I'm making a smoothie, I'm usually putting in, pineapple, some fresh cut pineapple, some coconut, either milk or coconut powder, just some milk. If I'm a little older, I might be throwing in some the one thing I do sometimes encourage for older swimmers and older athletes are BCAAs, or branched chain amino acids. I don't encourage that for youngers, but for olders, I do encourage some branched chain amino acids, and you can throw those into a smoothie, and you won't even notice them. I don't put a lot of water in my smoothies, though. You know, sometimes I'll throw in spinach in a smoothie. I try to avoid putting kale in smoothies. I know everyone gets all hot on kale, but it's too flavorful. Give me some spinach in a smoothie. Maybe throw in some flaxseed or some chia seeds for a little bit of fiber and some omega-3s. But, you know, a delicious pineapple and coconut smoothie going to make me a happy guy. Some people throw peanut butter powder in smoothies, or just straight up peanut butter. Lucius gave a look of like, yeah, gross, man. That's disgusting. Tastes like a Reese bar, man. Come on.
Peanut butter powder does not sound good.
I agree with that. There's plenty of different powdered drinks and smoothies you can get too. I know I enjoy something called P2 Life. Thank you, Kristen. You know, and that's just sort of a meal replacement thing, and it's got some taste like chocolatiness, but it's all super healthy-ish. So
Anytime.
What else you guys got? Come on, throw each other something. I'm sure that you guys had a lot of nutrition questions in the survey.
Wait, there was a survey?
So if there,
Go ahead. Is that you, Lauren?
yeah. So if there's like 2 sessions in one day, like let's say there's like a prelims and then a finals, and there's like a break time in between, usually like people would like eat a whole lunch and then be like fine for finals. But like for like example, if there was JOs and like you had the mile and you had like maybe like an hour break before final starts, would you still eat that full lunch, or like should you just eat like maybe like a couple snacks?
Oh, I've got some thoughts. What thoughts do you guys have?
If you're swimming the mile and then swimming an hour after, just like give up. It's not worth it.
Wrong, Lucius. No, just give up.
That sounds terrible.
That is terrible.
No. Come on, guys. What else you guys? Now, so those are 2 different scenarios, in my opinion. Just heads up on that. If you're swimming prelims that ends at 12 o'clock, and then you got finals that starts at 5 o'clock, that's one thing. If you're doing the mile and an hour later finals are going to start, you know, I see those as 2 different scenarios. What do you guys have for prelims, finals? What have you guys done in the past that's been successful for you or comfortable? Somebody?
I have a question about that too. It doesn't really have like the mile thing in it, but is Chipotle like a healthy option or no?
I think Chipotle can be very healthy. I mean, if I look at the ingredients, I'm going to get some beans in there. As long as I'm healthy with beans, and it's not the first time I've had beans in a while. You can get fajitas. I can go with a tortilla or no tortilla. I go with a tortilla on the side, and then I have them fill the bowl up, because then you get more. And you just say, hey, a little bit more of that, a little bit more, a little bit more, and they'll pack that bowl. And then you make your burrito on the side, and you've got a burrito. You eat that, and then you save the stuff in the bowl for later, and you got 2 meals in one. That's how I do it, though. It's because I'm a cheapskate. No, but I mean, you can go with the white rice. You can get white rice or brown rice or no rice. I'm looking at, I'm getting a decent starch there. I don't necessarily need it, but if I'm going to do it, I'm doing a brown rice. That way I at least get some more out of it than just the white rice. You get lettuce with it. I can get tomatoes. I can get corn. I can get guacamole. I can get any of those meats that are pretty good and delicious. Don't go for the meatless option unless you're used to it, because you will just feel bloated afterwards, I'm guessing, because it's probably just tofu. Then you're getting some cheese on there. Don't let them overdo the cheese and the sour cream, but as long as you're doing it in moderation, you're going to be fine. So pretty much everything at Chipotle is going to be good for you in terms of eating that between a session. You don't want to go real spicy. All right. Don't overspice it. If you love the spicy normally, just go with the mild sauce or just tell them to hold back. You don't need to get the chips and the guac because those are going to be, those are going to be a fried food. And so it's not necessarily good for your system to be putting in fried chips, even if they do have that little salty wonderfulness on top of them. So yeah, Chipotle I would consider fine. And yeah, go for it. What else you guys got?
Are we allowed to get?
I did not understand that. All right, guys, come on. Give me one or two more questions and I'll let you guys out of here. Something, anything. We never really touched on that, between prelims and finals thing. I mean, we sort of did. The big thing I would go on the prelims finals one is I mentioned it earlier about making sure that if you're going to be at a session for more than 3 hours, that you planned a takeaway meal with you. Anytime you're going 3 to 4 hours in competition without, unless you just don't want food in your stomach, you should have a plan. Okay. The plan is more important than what you eat. If I know I'm going in and I've got prelim finals and I'm going to be out of there at 10 o'clock, listen, I'm just going to have my normal lunch. And then I'm going to just have the little snacks here during warm up. If I know prelims don't end until 2 o'clock, I already had a pre-packed lunch with me. Okay. It's not, do I have to go eat a lunch after prelims? It's that maybe, I ate at 11 o'clock, a small turkey sandwich. And then I've had a little bit of yogurt here and there. And then I'm racing again at 2. So I'm planning my day out with my little 3 to 4 hour chunks before, between meals, as opposed to saying, I got out of a session. I've only got 2 hours. I got to go pound some food in there real quick and then race back to the meet. First off, we shouldn't be doing meets like that. So don't let us ever sign you up for meets where you sit there for an hour, 7, 8 hours. That's just not really acceptable, but it's more about having the plan. So if I've got the mile coming up and then I'm going to have to go race the 200 fly, an hour and 40 minutes after that, I've made sure I've had a good breakfast. I've made sure I've had a good lunch before the mile. As soon as I finish that race, I'm probably drinking something right away, and I'm getting in that warm down pool for probably 15 to 20 minutes. And I may even snack in the warm down pool. And then I may end up staying in the pool for 40 minutes and treating it like a workout, just to really keep that, my body refilling its glycogen stores, as opposed to thinking that, a bag of pretzels and an apple are going to make the difference. What do you got, Ken? Ken, what do you got?
Is too much fruit bad? Because I eat tons of fruit.
Is too much fruit bad? I don't think so. Just remember though, fruit is sugar. Okay. Fruits are sugar. So if you're eating an entire bunch of bananas in a day, you just dumped in, you're like, yeah, but I'm eating healthy. I'm eating bananas. I had 7 of them. Well, it's like, well, okay, you just had the same sugar content as an entire chocolate cake. So fruit is great, but just remember it is sugar. So you got to be careful not to binge. What do you got, Javier?
I see that most of you guys are asking, like, is this too much? Is this too much? Like, I think everything is about balance, like you want to be as balanced as possible in every kind of this. So yes, yeah, for sure. You can go to Chick-fil-A, or you can go to Sonic, or you can go to anywhere, but always try to pick the best option you think is better for you, the more healthy option. And also it's all about balance. Yes, you can eat a little bit of candy, but just a little bit. You don't have to go in excess. Yes, you can eat some fruit. Yes, you can eat your favorite meal, pizza and everything, but just all about balance, balance everything as much as you can. I think your nutritional value should be there. That's it.
Yeah, no, the balance is a big deal. And guys, seriously, I threw it out there I threw it out there earlier, but you know, you don't, and I know Coach Marsh threw it out, like just if you can avoid processed foods, avoid processed sugars, the simple sugars, and but don't be stingy on yourself. Give yourself permission to cheat here and there. Have a cheat day. Don't go to a swim meet and be afraid that everyone went here and had this food and it's just not part of your plan. You want to make sure you're smiling, but be balanced. Come on, guys. I'm gonna cut you guys down and end this session if we don't get one or two more in there, which is okay because, hey, speaking of food, I think my dinner's about ready. So, you guys got in? Yeah. What do you got?
So should we be counting like calories or just like the balancing?
I wouldn't count calories. I don't think there's a whole lot of
Okay.
like if you get to a level where you're where you've got a nutritionist and you're working at the Olympics training center in a sport, let them do it for you. All right, boom. Let someone else do it for you. It's staying healthy. You know, if it's in a box, it's in a bag, just if you can avoid it, avoid it. Some people like to count their calories. I don't think there's a whole lot of value in that. I think the only place that there is value in that is recognizing about how much you're eating in volume, and then knowing, you know, if you've been on this break and you're eating more than normal because you go to school normally, and listen, this is going to happen to people because I've seen it happen. It happens to college people every summer where you're training all the time. You're training, and you're eating. And then, you know, and then you stop training, but you keep eating. Bad things can happen there. Other thing that can happen is some of you guys will go to school all year long, and you go to school and you're there at 7 a.m. and you don't get out until 3, and you don't eat breakfast because it's just a pain in the butt. And then you don't eat lunch because I just don't have time. I got to get ready for the next class. And then you come to practice and you've hardly eaten anything. And then you get out there and you just pound a quick dinner and then maybe a second dinner after that. And then you hit a time like right now where you're sitting at home and you're bored and you don't have that grind going on all day. And you're like, I'm bored. You go to the fridge, you grab this, and then an hour later you're bored and you go to the cupboard and you're like, yeah, I'll eat some of that. So be aware that at this time you may find yourself eating way too much. You may find yourself eating less, but instead of counting calories, just notice trends. If you're healthy, stay healthy. And when it comes to taper time, just make those changes in your balance. Fewer carbs, a little more fruits and veggies, you know, and stay at a good fighting weight for performance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Anyone else want to jump in? Kristen?
Well, I think you covered it nutritionally. I'm sure there's gonna be more questions, but I just want to say it's good to see you guys, at least on this. I haven't seen everybody in a while, so it's fun to see your faces, some of you, and just, you know, keep trying to stay active and, you know, like try to pick a few things of what you learned today and apply it, like just a couple things. You're not going to get everything, and some obviously applies to swim meets only, but try to pick something to change habits, or, you know, just do something that's going to, you know, make yourself feel a little bit better. There's a lot of good information. Thank you, Dave.
No problem. Hey guys, I'll wrap this thing up if there's no more questions in a minute. Do you guys have you ever notice that swimmers, you guys have all heard that swimmers eat more than other athletes, right? Have you heard that? Have you guys experienced that after swimming, like you just want to go pound food?
Yes, I have heard that.
How many of you guys do running, like you also enjoy running?
Me. Well, I don't enjoy it. I run though.
Okay, well. Are you ever?
I run with my mom.
Do you guys feel hungry after you go running?
No.
Yes.
Who said yes? Who was that?
That was me.
If I did it right.
Okay. If I did it right. I'll tell you what, one of the reasons that sometimes swimmers tend to eat more than other athletes, not just because let's just be honest, we're better and we consume more energy because we're that much more awesome. And awesomeness does burn calories. In swimming, you also don't bounce and jostle your stomach while you're being athletic. All right. Where in running, you're bouncing. In football, you're slamming in and you're bouncing and it's impacting your internal organs. In swimming, you're exercising and you're floating in a gravity-free zone and your body's just exercising and just doing work and work and work. And there's really no impact on your gut.
Gymnastics.
Gymnastics tend to not be super hungry right away afterwards, though. Gymnastics are bouncing and flying around like crazy.
Well, I do it. Therefore, I am amazing still.
Well, but you are amazing. We understand that. But
it is a flaw.
Just understand, though, that if you're a swimmer, it's not uncommon to be super hungry after you exercise.
I don't know. I'm hungry every time after I go swimming.
Well, guys, I'm starting to get hungry right now. I appreciate you guys jumping in here. I'm going to try to get a guest speaker for either Thursday or Friday this week. So I'll just keep planning one of those 2 days. We'll get somebody in here to talk about something. If you've got anything specific in mind, I had a few things still from the survey, but if you want to shoot me a specific thing like, hey man, I really want this. Don't be afraid to pass it over. That way it gives me direction to get motivated and go down that road. Okay.
Is there a workout on Friday?
Yep. Yeah, we'll do. I'll keep offering it Monday through Friday, and not on Saturday. Saturday, find something on your own. And unless I get someone to run like a yoga session on a Saturday, that'd be kind of awesome. It won't be me running it. You guys don't want to see me doing yoga because I got to wear tight
I can
clothes
run
for
it.
that.
I'm just kidding.
How about pull-ups today? Who did the most pull-ups today?
I don't have a bar.
Got to get a bar. Go to the bar.
Yeah, we're going to get one on Amazon.
Get one.
No,
And
Amazon.
then-
I don't think Amazon's selling anything except for essentials.
No,
Anyone?
other stuff.
No, we definitely got dog shampoo, and that's not essential.
Oh, wow.
Except when she gets in the mud.
It's not essential.
Did anyone get over 100 pull-ups today?
Nope.
Ken, how many did you get?
180.
You did 180 pull-ups today.
I took
Was that all? Was that during the workout, or did you do bonus ones later on?
A little bonus, but I took quite a lot of reps.
Hey, man. That's killer. Guys, challenge set. I didn't get 180 in.
Wow.
Neither did I.
All right.
Probably did like 2 on my bed.
More than I did.
That was falling out of bed. Has anyone worked on their breath control? I know I mentioned it. You worked on it, McKenna?
Yeah.
All right, good. Guys, this is the time to work on stuff like that, okay?
I do it while I'm reading my English book.
Exactly what we talked about.
I do it. I don't do it, but I do paint.
Okay. All right, guys. Listen, I'm gonna end this thing. I appreciate everyone jumping in, and
Thank you.
see you guys in the morning.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.